Shalom, shalom. First, we're going to start off by giving all honor, praises, and infinite glory to Yahweh, by Shem Yahshai, by Shem Kakadash. I want to give double honors into the elders, apostles, and bishops of GMS Great Millstone who rule well, teach, and edify. And peace and blessings to sincere Akim or Akwat and his household of faith. My name is Yeshaya. And we're the young bros from the GMS Arizona Church and Ottawa. We're going to make an edifying video. Just through the spirit, bros, we're talking. And, the spirit from the elder apostles on down, being like, get active, man. Move your body, take walks and do certain things with nature, man. Be disconnect too, being on social media all day. This society that Esau Edom has created has been a society to encapsulate the mind and encapsulate your body, man. You are stuck in boxes all fucking day, and constantly having to, be on a time schedule. Every single day you're on a time schedule. You have to wake up by a certain time. You have to be somewhere by a certain time. You have to make things happen by certain time thresholds. And, that can weigh a lot on a man's conscience, man. When you're constantly just in that type of affliction, it's good to get out, get the sun, man. Get some vitamin D and, break out of these boxes. And ultimately, we're in captivity. We're always going to be under these shackles, until the Lord comes and revives us and frees us. But, even things like, instead of just sitting around, 15 minutes of your time walking outside can do a lot for your mental clarity.
Facts, bro. Some NFL shit, play 60. But this is a quick precept. This is Sirach 33:27. It says, send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil. So ultimately, when you're idle, you sitting around not doing nothing, that's when your mind can fucking wander in places that, it couldn't have been at if you were up and active,
Right.
I know me for myself, being at work, you focus. You focus on work. All right, the distractions is minimal, but when you idle, your mind can fucking have you thinking about you want this, that, third. When really you don't even need that shit.
And that's a device. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get advantage of us, we are not ignorant of his devices, man. We understand the Esau Edom, bro, on that left-hand side. He's studied all these things. There's a reason why corporate offices are shaped the way that they are. There's a reason why cubicles have a certain measure, man. This devil searches deep. His heart is deep about, that iniquity. What does the scripture say? He says, he rests not unless he cause some to fall. So when you're looking at society, man, you see in cubicles, how complex the Lord was when he was building the ark or building his tabernacles, how everything had to be a certain measurement, how everything had to be a certain length. They do the same things on the left-hand side, man. These cubicles have to be a certain length. This light has to be a certain amount of dimness. This color has to be a certain amount of bright, and they consider these things. And they make it to where they change those things to be the most oppressive that they can. Look at modernization. Back in the day, things used to be so colorful. Even the McDonald's had clowns in front of it and all these giant signs and everything in the movies, the music, everything was more lively. But this devil has truly engineered things to be more, to more fitly more for captivity and to block out creativity. And, ultimately in his faith, we have to keep our mind, free and at peace, man. And so it can be devoted to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You don't want to be down and out in the conscience all the fucking time. And that's what this devil has engineered this society to be. A society where your conscience is constantly down and out. This is Sirach 14:2. It says, blessed is he whose conscience is not condemned in him and who is not fallen from his hope in the Lord. We got to, I saw a post that brothers reposted earlier. The elder Jeremiah from the Chicago camp on Instagram, he is nobody cares about men's health until a nigga's dead. You Akim, and especially, you Akwat as well. Especially you Akim, but you have to make sure that you consider your mental health too, man. We're subject to payments. We're subject to all kinds of bullshit in this wicked captivity with not very many resources and not very many genuine people, because, those, the believers of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, are few to be able to find solace in, so.
Quick precept. This is 1 Peter 4:1. It says, for as much then as Yahushua has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. And ultimately, the point I want to get was Yahushua was a man acquainted with grief and sorrow. Because you read that in Ecclesiastes, the more you know, the more sorrowful you are. You fucking hatred toward this place is it grows more and more.
Con.
It's like, but you gotta keep occupied. You gotta keep your mind, you gotta keep your mind going, because this shit can weigh you down ultimately.
That's right.
That's it.
I mean, that was really the point, man. That Sirach 30 and 15 spirit, health and a good estate are above all fine golds and riches. Consider your health, consider your mental health. Consider, getting out of these cubicles. You wake up in the morning, you go to the plantation, the job, and then you go back from the job, and you might go to the gym. The gym's just a motherfucking box. Your car is a box. Then you go back to your apartment, your house, which is another box. Back in the day, we used to have houses that had acres of land where you have animals all throughout. There was so much livelihood to living back in the day, man. And now all these things have been stripped away. We live in these, prison looking like, apartments in this metropolis. We have to be circumspect of how all this shit can weigh down our conscience. That's why the ocean heals, none of that weird shit. Just go to the ocean,
Vibration.
You'll feel better. It's a vibration, man.
Yeah.
Go frequencies.
It's real.
Music too. Be careful about the music you listen to. Brothers admonish bros a lot about that, because the daughters of music shall be brought low. It's gonna be bringing your spirit low too, man. It's gonna be making you, feel a certain way, because our body's made up of water as well, man. So when you got these bad vibrations, constantly shaking up your mind, you can get agitated, and you can get, fall into that spirit that these songs are blessed on the left-hand side to do. That's all I got right there.
Come, bro. This is Sirach 25 and 13. It says, "Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman." So, give me any plague but the plague of the heart. The heart going to lie, meaning your mind. Because when your mind is, if you don't have control of your mind, if the spirit ain't guiding you, then shit, it's gonna be a whole fucking playground for Satan.
That scripture that says, "He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city without walls," in Proverbs.
Exactly, but there's things you could do to guard against yourself. Like stepping out and shit. Like there's benefits to these things. It's not just you can get in that spirit of it's all vanity and fixation of spirit, but like shit, we still here. We still gotta maintain. We gotta keep pushing at the end of the day. So why not make it better?
That's right.
That's it.
That's all I got as well. Lord willing, that was edifying. We want to lastly give all honor, praises, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rekakudash. Shalom.